So today we start a journey. Journey already started. The date here is December 22. I realized this is not today's date, but this is when I started this leadership special 2 days of program, and you are fourth batch now. So there are certain refinements. But before we start this journey, we start with values. So values are something which are very close to all of us. So let's start the journey. We all want to go to green. Green is good. Why it is good? Because green gives happiness, it is a sign of prosperity and also peace. So prosperity, peace and happiness is always good place to go. What else we need? If there is any place which is peaceful, which is having a prosperity and also happiness, what else do you need? Nothing. So let's go all together. This green is our destination. We are all standing on this side of the bridge. And when we walk, we will learn in this our journey, because it's a leadership journey. So first journey starts with our values. We want to go to green, and green is composed of customer satisfaction. So let's decode the word customer and then we come to satisfaction. Wherever you want to go, wherever in your life, in your journey, it is important to understand where are we going and why are we going. Because if you do not know where are we going and why are we going, then journey is meaningless. So the journey starts with first understanding where are we going, why are we going. We are going to customer satisfaction, because I just said it, it is green, but now let's decode it. So from this group, and when I don't get let's say answer which is covering, then I will come to that table. But I will start from here to give the opportunity to everybody to participate. What is your understanding? And by the way, it is not a definition, it is not a bookish right or wrong, it is only your understanding. And your understanding is always right because it is your understanding. You are unique and your understanding is also unique. Therefore, all the answers are right. Let's attempt. What is your understanding? Anybody from here?
Customer satisfaction.
Customer only.
The customer is who is giving money.
Who is giving money? So bank you go and they give you money. Bank is a customer for you when they give you money. Using your ATM machine is a customer.
I am the customer product.
Okay, so think again. Anybody from that table?
The end user.
End user. So if I borrow your pen and start using it, am I a customer?
For me, yes, you are using money. You can provide many feedback if the pen is not working or not.
Okay. Think on. So there is nothing right and wrong, but this is understanding. This table, I will come back.
Purchasing from us.
Who is purchasing from us? Okay, so now little bit understanding got a different level. It is a transaction is happening. Purchasing means element of what they purchase.
Anything, sir. It can be a pen or a copy.
It can be a pen and copy, but we don't do make pen or copy. So what they purchase?
Who is purchasing our product, sir?
Product. Halfway through. Anything else other than product?
Purchasing of raw materials.
Okay, but that is also a product. Somebody's product is a raw material, somebody's a sub-assembly, somebody's full assembly.
Taking any service or facility.
Facility, okay, service good, because facility is also part of service. So we say anybody who is buying or purchasing product or service, and in return what do we get? That table? In return what do we get? Money. Good. In return we get money as a transaction, and that money should be how much?
It is following our, it is meeting our key performance requirements that the organization has set. So,
Anybody here in this table or this group?
Sir, our next process for which we are working,
How much should be money?
money.
Yeah, I'm already covered this part. Person who is buying from us product and services, and in return they are giving money. So far we covered. And I think you all agree with this. This description is, anybody disagree with it? So far you disagree? You disagree or agree?
I am giving the answer.
Answer, okay. So how much should be the money?
The investment we do for this and our profit.
Okay, good. So what say, they should give in return money, and this is again, if they are not giving money, then they are not customer. So if somebody says, you use my pen, this is a donation. You can also give on the street side, there are so many beggars, they will be happily take whatever you give it to them. And many times customer pretend to behave like that, keep on giving your product and services for free of cost, but then they are not more customer. So they should take our product, they should take our service, in return they should give money, and now he is saying it should cover our cost and make some profit. I think this makes a complete story. Now how should be our cost? This is our definition. How should be our profit? This is also our definition. How much profit we are allowed to make based on the market competition. So there are always restrictions how much you can do it. If you make too much profit, maybe it becomes very difficult to continue the business because others are selling cheaper than you. But anything, any one entity or a person who is buying and any entity or person who is selling, this transaction is very clear. Seller is supplier, vendor, buyer is customer. Whether they are using it or not, this is still a question mark. They are not necessarily always user. Users generally we call as a consumer, and there is a little difference between customer and consumer. Sometimes customer and consumer are same, sometimes they are different. So end users are consumer. We sell product to Maruti Suzuki, Tata Motors, they further put it in their car, sell it to the end user who is the consumer. They are finally paying. So even if money is coming to us from Tata Motors or Maruti Suzuki or anybody else, money is ultimately coming from consumers. So when we think about, it is important to think about that consumer also. But in this transaction, consumer is not directly involved. When we are selling product, for example, as an OEM or as anybody, pen manufacturer going through the dealers and distributor, then they are directly selling it to the. So when you are making anything original which directly goes to the consumer, then you are more like original equipment manufacturer. So customer we understood, good customer is that we continue to get business from them, and in return we get the money, and money so much so that we make some profit, and through that profit we do all the expansions, we pay everybody, we even give the salary hikes, which is all nice, but also we can invest in our business so we can create next generation of the product, and when the next generation of the product is created, then we are continuously staying into the market for forefront of the technological evolution. Satisfaction. Now put customer aside. एक जगह पार कर दो customer को. Now think about satisfaction. I will go other way around from here. What is your understanding of satisfaction?
Satisfaction is something which gives you the feeling of fulfillment that whatever I have done is giving me whatever I have done is completely clear and it's fine with me. It gives me the real sense of completeness.
Sense of happiness, that is satisfaction. Anybody would like to say what is satisfaction? Maybe I ask it more, when do you feel satisfied?
Whatever requirement you meet the customer that you have committed, if you are getting that requirement, that it's a satisfaction.
So whatever requirement you give, if it is fulfilling that requirement, then you are happy. Anybody want to further refine it?
So similar to what Arun said, so the parameters that customer basically set,
Mhm.
and if we are meeting those parameters, so that will automatically satisfy the customer, like the rejection, timely delivery, everything, quality.
Okay, so quality, delivery and other parameters. Okay, good.
Maybe what
Are you satisfied here sitting today? Just a general question. Are you satisfied?
yes.
Satisfied? Just now?
In terms of me, the satisfaction is that the end customer and consumer both are satisfied with the product and product.
Yeah, I'm just still talking satisfaction, not customer or consumer, only satisfaction. Are you satisfied? He said yes. Are you satisfied?
Whatever you are expecting, if you will get it.
Expecting any. Are you satisfied? Just a last person who entered in the room. What is his name? Come sit here. You are late, so you need to learn a little bit faster to catch up. Are you satisfied while you enter here? No. What was the reason of your dissatisfaction?
Because I am late.
Okay, sit down. We are talking about satisfaction. So you catch up, take your deep breath, do 1 to 10 and then you will get little bit calm down. But satisfaction, somebody says expectation. It is very important. Satisfaction is not always absolute. It is always relative. Relative to what? Your expectation. You come to Hotel Radisson. You already know this is a big brand. You come here, you had your tea. Most of you, when you take your tea and it is not tasting good, or if the cup is having some haldi ka daag laga hua hai usme, and then you all of a sudden feel like, what is this nonsense hotel? Same situation if it happens on the street side vendor, you are not so much worried about it. But when you come into a 5-star hotel with certain expectation, and when those expectations are high, and if there is a small thing start falling apart, you buy Tata Motors car, horn is working or not, though we are horn manufacturer sometimes, you feel bad. But when you buy a Mercedes and their horn is not working, then you feel very bad, because it is not 10 lakh car, it is now 90 lakhs car, and then you feel like highly dissatisfied. So your expectation, that means satisfaction is always a function of, if expectation is greater than delivery, then it is dissatisfaction. When expectation is less than or equal to delivery in terms of quality, cost or whatever other parameters as somebody said, then it is satisfaction. When it is slightly above, because if you keep on satisfying more and more, it is always good, but satisfaction also costs you something. So when it is slightly above the expectation, it is always the boundary line of over satisfaction. You are always hitting above the expectation, and when you keep it, customer asks, can you deliver it on Friday evening? And you say yes, and when you deliver it Friday evening, this is fine. But if you can deliver it on Friday afternoon at 3 o'clock, so even they get little bit extra 2 hours to check it whether it is working or not, because if you send it out Friday and they find it is not working something, they may not be able to contact you, and if they contact you during your weekend, it is little bit frustration on both the sides. So always keeping slight buffer towards the expectation is good thing. Keeping lot of buffer will only destroy your cost structure. So that is not good. So we understood customer, we understood satisfaction. When you combine together, that is the transaction in which we are going, where we sell the product and service, and then in return we get money, which is good to cover our cost and profit for our growth. But customer is also getting as per the expectation, as per our contractual obligation, as per our verbal obligation. When they are getting as per the expectation, they are also satisfied. And satisfied customer is the key for green, key for our prosperity, because with the satisfied customer you get repeated business. Business will continuously flow and our machine will continuously run, which is our overhauling fuel for our journey. Fuel here, fuel doesn't mean like you are putting petroleum, but fuel means it is the money, it is the cash which we are generating from the business, and that is allowing us to give happiness, prosperity, growth and further potential for investing into the new technologies. Clear? Now you are clear why we want to go to green? It is good for everybody, including for all of us. So what we will do, we will use this bridge. And this bridge is quite important. It is coming from last several decades. As I see it every time, I get more inspired, and I feel so inspired that I have coined some of my own metaphors and also my own similes to understand and explain it in a better way, which might or might not be there in the mind of original creator. But I found these two pillars very important. Any bridge, pillars are very important. You understand the importance of pillars? Because if there are not two pillars, then bridge will be in a problem. You can have more than two pillars, but minimum you need two pillars, until unless we have some cantilever construction which is sometimes considered a little bit unstable. So we have two pillars. Two pillars, both the pillars are equally important. The importance of the pillar is not less for one or another, but still they are put in an order. So in your leadership journey, whenever you come in a conflict, generally it should not be a conflict, but whenever you come in a conflict between human approach and professionalism, so we have two pillars, human approach and professionalism. I always encourage you to put human approach before professionalism. So if you have identity, your highest identity is what? You are a husband, you are father, you are employee of HELA, you are Indian, but even above that, you are a human being. And that is your common identity across the globe. And that humanness should always precede all other identities. And if you keep it in mind, most of your decisions will be very sustainable. Very, very proud moment for you to talk about it, because you consider humanity on the top of everything. It doesn't mean that we sacrifice everything else. I am saying when it comes in a contradiction, when it in the contradiction of professionalism, then you prioritize human approach. But still we need both the pillars. If you keep protecting one pillar and you completely sacrifice the other pillar, bridge will collapse. And if bridge collapse, you will not be able to go to the gain. So both are important, equally important, but one comes before another. Now we have two sub-pillars on which these wires are hanging, and the pillars is kept stable. These are the human aspect. These are the two sides of the coin. Each of us as a human being, we have been gifted with the two qualities. One we call as an individualism, another we call as a collectivism. Many times we talk I becomes very important. I, not like this I, but I, मैं, and then other time it becomes we, and these are important aspects of us. So we will understand them with the two values. First and foremost, here I will start with I, which is individualism. So I am already giving you hint of this. This side of coin of our personality is I. So thinking I in mind, what could be your understanding and interpretation? Now this time I will start from the back. What is your understanding towards entrepreneurship? Anybody can speak.
A person who started business at his own risk.
Should we give you mic? You need to turn on.
A person who started a business at his own risk, that's entrepreneurship.
A person who started his own business
At his own risk.
at his own risk. Yes, further addition? Yeah, if you can speak without mic, it's also okay.
The person idea converted into through innovation to the real world, to society, which is useful for further or few decades.
Okay.
So idea to innovation to the end.
Idea for innovation business. Innovation business. The two words I got it. Anything else somebody want to add? But own risk was a very, very good phrase he used. Anything else somebody want to add?
The ownership of the decision making.
Ownership of the decision making, very good. So let's decode it. Entrepreneur need not to be innovator. Entrepreneur need not to be innovator. Sometimes they are, sometimes they are not. So they are investors are different, innovators are different, and entrepreneurs are different. But one person could be other also. Need not to be necessarily. What differentiate innovator is that innovator is always inventing an idea. Now this idea can be taken by somebody else. So there could be a combination, innovator innovates something and then it goes and pitch for something. Then some entrepreneur is picking it and they are going to go and industrialize it. Sometimes this innovator is also saying, I am ready to take risk, please give me money, and this money is poured in by investors. So in that case, innovator becomes entrepreneur and get the money from investors. Sometimes innovator take all the money, sell the property, even take the loan from the bank and put entire risk on his own. Then this person is entrepreneur, he is also investor, he is also innovator, and if required he will become also a businessman, because many times the businessmen also do little bit other aspect of it, which is a lot of last mile distribution and managing the other part of it. But businessman is anybody who is involved in the transaction. So businessman is a very simplistic form of these different things. So entrepreneur, the most important part of entrepreneur is that the person should be ready to take the risk. They believe in the idea, whether it is their own idea or not, it is not important. Idea has to be there, their own idea, great. If it is not their own, somebody's idea, they also take it. And then using that idea, they say, I want to make it happen. What make it happen? Whatever they believe in. So they say, this is a good pen, I will make this pen, this idea, and then they put everything, whatever it takes. And when it doesn't work, what entrepreneur does? Things may work and may not work. What they do? They take a risk, they put all their money, but it does not work. So what does happen? What do they do next? They will retry. Innovators may give up. Inventors, innovators may give up. But entrepreneurs, in this case, they say, if it doesn't work, I try again. They do not blame anybody. They do not look and point the finger, oh, this is not working because of your problem. It did not work, let me try again, and I try in this way or that way and another way, and take the idea from somebody, buy it, borrow it, whatever it needs. If money is short, I will go and raise the fund from somewhere, but they try to fix. If anything is broken, they try to fix by themselves, by somebody's help, by collaboration, cooperation, whatever it takes, and we will talk on all those aspects. But everything is my responsibility. Everything comes back on me. Whose fault is this? My fault. This is the fundamental value of individualism. If anything is not working, it is not working because of me, and I am responsible to fix it. The person who says this is the entrepreneur, and we promote this feeling. We know you are not investor here in this company, we are also know it is not owned by any one of us, but we promote a culture where each of you in your area of responsibility behave like an entrepreneur. And how can you behave like an entrepreneur? If any task is there, then you believe in it. I can do it. You believe this is the right thing to do, and I am not doing it because my boss is telling me. As soon as you say, मैंने तो इसलिए कर दिया कि boss ने कहा था, your entrepreneurship is gone. So as an entrepreneur with this value, we promote, we encourage all of you. And why do we do it? Because we believe in it. So same way you believe in any idea, you do it only when you say this is good. After discussion in the interdepartmental meetings, with your boss, with your team member, with your peer, lot of discussion happened. But finally you say, yeah, ab baat theek hai, ye karna hai. So that means you are convinced. When you get convinced, then it is your topic. And then you are not saying, oh, it did not work because he told me something. Then we are sliding very quickly in the slippery slope. That is not good for us. Okay. Then we come to the next. Is it clear? Any question? Entrepreneurship?
Entrepreneur should have knowledge about the market also, because he is sharing some knowledge.
Yes. When they need knowledge, they will acquire, they will buy, they will hire a consultant, they will do anything. It doesn't matter, they need to know everything. They are not an encyclopedia. It is good if they know. But if they do not know, then what they do? They find it out. They search themselves. They go to somebody. They even hire a consultant. They go to a friend. Doesn't matter this friend is their old school days friend or their college days friend or retired boss from the previous company, doesn't matter. They will go and find out. So you take whatever it takes to make it happen. You take all the support. Okay. Any further question on entrepreneurship? So entrepreneurship is everything about I. Clear? I can do it, I will make it happen. If it doesn't work, I will fix it. And when it works, great, we celebrate. When it doesn't work, you take the responsibility, but go back and retry. Retry with all the learning which comes through the failure. And you don't sit down and then deep dungeon और वो शौक मनाने का टाइम नहीं है. एंटरप्रेन्योर के पास एक ही का चीज़ नहीं होती कि शौक मनाने का कोई टाइम नहीं होता है ना फेलियर से.
It may be in any field, either like a businessman or a teacher. Someone is just running a coaching center like that, and he is an entrepreneur at that moment.
Yes, Anybody who is taking responsibility to create product, service, whatever it is, and then following all the principles of business.
Entrepreneurial behavior should be proactive, like when I will do.
But it is I based, everything is I based. And now we come to the next aspect of human being. अकेला चना बाहर नहीं फोड़ सकता, सुना होगा, है? सब कहते आ रहे हैं, पीढ़ियों से कहते आ रहे हैं. उसका मतलब क्या है कि आप कितने ही बड़े हो, तीसमार खां हो, कितने ही महान हो आप, लेकिन सब काम आप नहीं कर सकते. So why it is so? I mean, Virat Kohli is a great player. Dhoni was also great player. Kapil Dev, Sunil Gavaskar, Sachin Tendulkar, these big names. But if you replicate them, think of a team where you have a 11 Sachin Tendulkar clone. How do you imagine the performance of this team? सबसे हार क्या आएगी? पक्की तरह से ना. Even though you have best player and you replicate it 11 times, or you take a best bowler, or you take a best whatever other aspect, best captain, so Dhoni, and you replicate, or you put anybody. But that means what you need more people. Why do you need more people?
Different skill set.
Okay, good. So we need more people not because of capacity. Capacity is one aspect. Sure, we need people for capacity because अकेला चना बाहर नहीं फोड़ सकता. So you create multiple people, but if they are same, as I said, you clone same person like you keep on hiring all the people like you, then you create all the ideas like you. They will think just like you. So what we need? Skill set difference. We generally call them as a complementary. So complementary skill sets creates variety. Whatever is required to fulfill the task. And capacity anyway you need, because one person, sometimes you need to hire maybe somebody like you if you need to exactly do. So capacity enhancement, there are very distinguished tasks, and these tasks are sometimes I would call it a very repetitive in the nature, and there you only need to do everything in same way again and again, and there you can only have a capacity enhancement because it's like your production line. You increase, you have a one SMT line, you put another SMT line, same line, because you are only doing capacity enhancement. This could be possible with our workforce, but tasks are relatively more complex, and therefore you need complementary skill. So we have capacity, that means more than one person, and they are not coming with the same background. That's why we call it complementary skill set. Now putting them together, will cooperation happen? Will cooperation happen or not happen?
They require a captain.
People are capable and we have enough capacity.
Cooperation will not happen unless they have a leader.
Leader. Okay, leader के अलावा और क्या चाहिए?
Vision, direction,
Direction, vision, okay.
Target or something.
communication.
Communication, okay. So there are left lot of aspect. But सबसे पहले जो है ना, the foremost, they need to have something which is common. And what is that common? Goal should be common. 11 member of a football team, if they are standing, all are capable, but if they don't see that that is our goal, then आधा इधर मारेंगे, आधा इधर मारेंगे. Team पक्की तरह से हारेगी, है ना? So they need to have a common goal, and this common goal should be agreed. कि हम मिले तो हैं पर सत्संग करने के लिए नहीं. अगर सत्संग करना ही गोल है तो फिर अलग बात है. But we are all together because we agreed to reach a particular goal which is commonly defined and commonly agreed. If this goal is not commonly defined, for example, we have CMT members who are representing their function and they are very strong coming from their area, they have their people, they try to sometimes protect their area of responsibility, but there is a common goal in company we need to make profit, we need to have customer satisfaction, we need to create cash, we need to have a growth, and these are 4 or 5 KPIs which we have listed out, and these are directly, or we need to put a quality, sorry I should not forget, we need to have a PPM and CLR and NQE related, and these are commonly agreed target. And when I talk to all my direct report, we talk about common targets. These are common. Whether you are from purchase or quality or production or D&D doesn't matter. We have a common goal. And as long as we have a common goal, we are all working towards it. Otherwise what happens? our ideas are floating around, but then we are not doing it. How to achieve it could be different. How to reach that goal. जैसे होता है ना कि धर्म बहुत है, सब अलग अलग तरह से ईश्वर तक पहुंचने का एक माध्यम मात्र है. But similar way, everybody could have their ideas. Their ideas will be there, and these ideas are most welcome. But the fundamental of the cooperation is there has to be a commonly agreed goal, which should be defined, which should be documented, and which should be displayed. अगर आपकी टीम में एक प्रोजेक्ट बनाया and the target is by December we need to launch this product, then you create a CFT, cross function teams, and if that is not known to everybody that by December we need to launch this product, then team will not work. But if everybody agreed for it, everybody signed up for it, then there will be a lot more cooperation. So there are other elements of this cooperation also, and these elements are, I would say, coming to a common approach, even though ideas are different, but coming to a common, which we call as a convergence. Initially you talk, you do brainstorming, there are so many ideas, but if you are going on a trekking, and if the team and everybody has an idea based on their experience, but then if everybody climb from different direction, or when there was a Kargil war, and if let's say the whole battalion is trying to try from different path, you will get butchered very easily. So very quickly you need to converge, and convergence is important after brainstorming. One more thing which is essential, communication. Somebody said it in the group here, that communication is, but communication is what? मैं बोल रहा हूँ, आप सुन रहे हैं, बाबा जी प्रवचन दे रहे हैं, सारी जनता सुन रही है, वो भी कम्युनिकेशन है. मोदी जी बोलते हैं, सारे देश की जनता सुन लेती है, वो भी कम्युनिकेशन है. But in the cooperation, what is the essence of communication? Any two ways communication, okay.
It's only like leader is saying and everyone is just saying that yes or no, no, should not.
Okay. Other?
Ideas are
Opinion should be
discerned
accepted.
and correctly.
Understand the mission.
Okay, then we are going already little deeper. We will cover that part for sure.
Complementing
Okay.
the task.
But communication should be there, which is, one thing is it should be clear. जो भी आपके, whether it is a one directional, bi-directional, it should be clear. उसके बहुत सारे मतलब नहीं निकलना चाहिए. अगर आपने कुछ कहा उसका एक ही मतलब निकलना चाहिए. Because if it is subjected to interpretation, then you create always confusion. So communication के लिए important है कि it should be clear. It should be complete also. अब मैं आपको एक example देता हूँ. I write a mail to one of you. I need this information, what we were talking about. Please provide me. Full stop. What will you do? Since I am a managing director of company, maybe you will go back and try to put a high priority and you try to finish it. But if the same mail comes from one of your peer, I need this information, please provide. Full stop. Is it complete? No. What is missing? Timeline is missing. So you say, please provide this information by end of day. This is definitely better. What else could be added there?
Why you need it? Why you need it? You have to ask.
Why do I need it? Okay. So why do I need is important, but also you put a consequence. If we did not get this information, then we will lose this business. We will lose a business which is worth 50 million TTO. All of a sudden, importance have become. Or if we don't hit, customer line will stop. Or we will lose this quantity which is we identified in the broker market, and then if that doesn't come, then maybe we will not get it, or if we give, we pay much more. So you need to provide why it is important, when do you need it, and if there is some information which you are asking, it is also good what you are exactly asking, because you can say this is the format which you can fill out. Then it becomes easy. I need this 5 point by end of the day today. If we don't do it, then this will happen. In addition to that, you can add one more element of this communication, which is called as a supporting. And what is, you are giving a freedom them to say if they have a problem, because this is one way, as you are saying, two way. So how to make this communication two way? I expect it. However, if you see any difficulty, please let me know in advance. Or if there is any support required, feel free to contact me. What you are doing? You are extending a support. You are creating a conducive environment, and this conducive environment is coming from potential support which you can extend. So then it is not that 5 o'clock the person is saying I cannot provide, because I say at end of the day 5 or 6 o'clock whenever the day ends, I should get it, but then in advance I should have a question, and this question should come me well in advance before the deadline passes. So then we call it complete and clear. So if the communication is not complete and clear, then cooperation will not work. So commonly agreed goal, capacity with the complementary skills. So you have a capacity enough to deal with it, because a football team, if 11 players are required, you need to have 11 players. As soon as somebody gets the red card and they go out, and if it is 10, then the team is under high pressure. And by the time if second person make a fault, and if they are 9, you know, even though they are the best teams, it is very difficult to sustain in the ground, because everybody is also good, equally good. So you need to have complementary skill with the capable people, with the full capacity, with the commonly defined goal, and clear and complete communication. And clear and complete communication is also a way to create expectation. Do it like this. If you don't do it, then these are the consequences. This is what we are going to suffer. Cooperation is clear? You feel you are doing cooperation so far?
Yes.
Maybe you are doing it all, but it gives you a little more clarity. And why we call it as a value? Because this is what we consider. Maybe I should have started there. So I come back after covering these two. What are the values? What is the understanding towards value? Value का मतलब क्या होता है? Anybody?
Worth, importance.
Because we talk about values, we already talk about two values, but now we are going little backward and try to understand what is values, why these are important.
Some known guidance which is already known and means it has already satisfied something for which we are working on it. So if we will do again and again, it will improve our life.
Okay, so known guidance improve the life.
Principles we have,
Okay.
She have settled for our organization, for ourselves also. Values can be
Okay.
in many terms. No?
Okay.
So it's some guiding principles from which you take a path. You will follow those.
Any idea from the other two tables?
That makes a person better. Value means doing some work.
Yeah, so there are sometimes two interpretation of value. Somebody says, oh, this is valuable item, and then somebody says, but this is not as per my value, this is going against my value. They are not very far, they are still close, but let's start the second part of it, where you say something is not my value. So why this value system comes? Because there is some tradition you are following. These are not rules. एक चीज़ बहुत साफ साफ समझ में आना चाहिए, values are not rules. Rules का मतलब क्या होता है? रूल तो सब समझते हो.
That we have to forcefully we have to follow.
रूल का मतलब ये है कि there is a traffic light, it is a red, and rule is you should not cross on the red signal, and if you cross it then you get penalized. So अगर आपने रूल फॉलो किया तो कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता, कोई आपसे बहुत ज़्यादा खुश होने वाला नहीं है. यू कैन नॉट गो एंड आस्क, मैं तो रेड ट्रैफिक के ऊपर रेड लाइट पर रोका था गाड़ी को, तो मुझे थोड़ा इंक्रीमेंट एक्स्ट्रा दे दो. सो ऑल द रूल्स are the minimum defined agreed framework under which we need to all operate, and if you do not do it, then what happens? You get penalized. So rule को directly link करते हैं penalty से. If you follow the rule, it is all good. Nobody is appreciating for following the rule, but if you break the rule, then you are penalized. Sometimes you are putting behind the bar, sometimes you get into fight, and sometimes more severe consequences are there. And that's why rules are defined, whether in organization, personal life, private life, country level, international level, so that they can work together as a framework, common working framework. But values are not rules, so we should be completely saying these are not. Values are something which you call as a traditions. These are the behaviors. But behavior by whom? घर पे आप कोई आता है तो नमस्ते करते हैं. क्यों करते हैं? और जो कोई नमस्ते नहीं करता तो क्या होता है? वो बैड फील होता है. कहीं रूल में तो नहीं लिखा हुआ कि कोई घर पे आए तो नमस्ते करना चाहिए, कोई बुजुर्ग आता है तो आप चरण स्पर्श करते हैं, मत्था टेकते हैं, कुछ भी करते हैं बेस्ड ऑन योर कल्चर. लड़कियां नहीं देती, लोग लड़के ही देते हैं. what is this? From where this comes? संस्कार. ये संस्कार और संस्कृति बड़ा इंपॉर्टेंट है. सो दिस संस्कार आर कमिंग फ्रॉम ट्रेडिशंस. कहाँ से आए? क्योंकि आपके बुजुर्गों ने सिखाया. ऐसे ही कंपनी के अंदर, एंड these are values. This can be different in one culture to another culture. So there are mostly common values, like human values are common. But if you go to Indian family and a guy who is married and working and staying with the parents, we say बहुत अच्छा लड़का है भाई, बहुत सच्चे, बहू भी बहुत अच्छी है, बहुत अच्छा परिवार के साथ चला रहा है. We say it in India like this. But an 18-19-year-old guy who is unmarried and staying in the college, if they still stay in the family with the parents in US, they say बहुत निकम्मा है. The guy is useless. He could not find girlfriend. He could not even find a way to how he is going to do. And if he is already working, why is staying with parents? So it is considered as a bad thing. हमारे यहाँ जो एक बहुत अच्छा माना जाता है कि नौकरी भी लग गई, पढ़ाई भी हो गई, शादी भी कर ली, बच्चे भी हो गए और अभी भी पेरेंट्स के साथ रह रहा है, बहुत अच्छी बात है, बहुत संस्कारवान है. सेम थिंग इफ यू डू इन अदर कल्चर, इज कंसिडर्ड एज अ इनकेपेबल यूजलेस पर्सन, कि कुछ नहीं कर सकता है, इसका कुछ होने वाला नहीं है, बोझ बन के बैठा हुआ है पेरेंट्स के ऊपर. सो फ्रॉम वन कल्चर टू अनदर कल्चर, फ्रॉम वन कंपनी टू अनदर कंपनी, these traditions might be different, but we are generally, whatever we will talk, you will find these are commonly understood and acceptable as well as promotable cultures in the companies, and that's why we picked up these 7, because if you think through towards the end, you will not find anything which you say, even if it is Hela or Foratia or Forvia or even other company, this would change, this would not change, and that's why we picked up them. So values are, again I come back, values are something which we call as a traditions and habits which is being promoted by the top management. Because company में बुजुर्ग लोग कौन होते हैं? जैसे घर में अपने संस्कृति बुजुर्ग पूर्वजों से चली आ रही है, ऐसे कंपनी में it is, so everything starts at least in India with me. And whatever I consider good, I try to do it as my behavior, and then my direct report who are CMT members try to follow it, and they try to bring it in their behavior, and then they go and then try to inculcate this as a culture. So it becomes a company culture, which is, I would again say, it is not part of any rule book or guidance book, but these are the traditions which we follow. So what happens if we follow it? And that is the difference between your rules and values. If you follow values, सब लोग उसको अच्छा बोलते हैं घर में, जो बड़ों का आदर करता है, whoso respect the elder people, these are getting compliments. Similarly in the company, when you follow the company culture and follow the values, you get appreciated, and when you get appreciated, you start your leadership journey, and you get promotions, and you get good salary hike, and you get higher responsibilities, and then one day you become trendsetter. Because if you continuously follow, there is a point in time when you are setting the trend, you are setting the culture of a company, and that's why it is important to understand the difference. Because many times people have a tendency to fall back, but ऐसा कहीं लिखा हुआ तो नहीं है, क्योंकि जो भी लिखा हुआ है ना वो है मिनिमम. सिलेबस में जो लिखा होता है ना, इसका मतलब क्या है? That is the minimum you have to study, but we have been somehow cultivated in this culture कि जो सिलेबस के बाहर है उसको तो पढ़ने की ज़रूरत ही नहीं है. But whatever is written in the syllabus, or you call it as the rules, these are the minimum you need to follow. But anything you learn beyond that, which is part of your extended culture or company culture, then that is something is going to take you forward. And that's why we are talking on these values. And these values are primarily habits. So now we will talk after these values, some habits. That is part of your leadership journey as you are incurring into that. So we come back on our values. First two values coming from human basic tendencies, which we call individualism as an entrepreneurship and collectivism as a cooperation. Any question on cooperation? Yes, please.
Can adjustment be part of cooperation?
can be
adjustment.
एडजस्टमेंट में थोड़ा कोऑपरेशन से ज़्यादा कंप्रोमाइज़ की गंध आ रही है.
But if I'm on a team and we have a complete goal, I am using part B, but the complete team, or I would say majority is going with part A. So I am adjusting with the part A.
I will take up this question and I will say what does it mean when we will talk about habits. Then I will say how can you work around on that. But in general, cooperation and adjustment would be not exactly same because we are compromising, and in cooperation we rather have a positivity instead of, because adjustment में और compromise में थोड़ा negativity आ जाती है. So we will deal with it, and we will also learn how to deal with it. Any other question? If not, then we take first step forward and put our foot into this first plank, which is value number 3. We call it as sustainability. Sustainability से क्या समझ में आता है?
Whatever we have achieved in the life, that can be maintained.
Yeah, if anything which can be maintained for long term, that is sustainability. Sustainability. So generally it is used in two ways and they are not different. One time you say sustainability related to planet, whatever raw material we are consuming, greenhouse effect, global warming, water resource consumption, because it's a long term view on the planet that if we are consuming resources at this speed, maybe our next generation will not have the same environment and then we are destroying, and then it is not, the growth is not sustainable. That's how we use it. But in a short time horizon, we say sustainability is more like a repeatability. If you produce something, or take an example of dart तो खेलते हैं आप में से बहुत से लोग. You throw one and it hits a straight bullseye in a dot, and you throw the second one and it goes somewhere else, is even out of the board. That means this person doesn't know how to throw the dart. और पहले वाला लगा उसको क्या बोलते हैं? तुक्का. वो तीर नहीं है, वो है तुक्का. So this tukka is not a sustainability. And compared to that, if somebody is throwing one and it is not hitting into inner circle but is still in the, let's say, second one, and second also it's slightly different, and third one also in the same way, it's going all on the board and staying in the particular range. That means people know कि ये खिलाड़ी है. Maybe today is not the best day or he has not yet learned the perfection to reach into the inner circle, but then the improvement is possible. Improvement is only possible in anything when you have repeatability. Repeatability कैसे आता है? In a production environment, standardized, you have a process adherence. That means if somebody is cooking cookies in a baken, in your oven, then what will you do? You will set the temperature correct. First you make the ingredients, recipe, itna ye add karna hai, so much, so everything is metered and everything is added in a particular proportion, and then you mix them together, and there could be a waiting time of 30 minutes, so the dough is now doing, and then you put yeast and it is doing some fermentation, so all the, and then you say at this temperature oven should be preheated, and then this cookie is passing through, which takes another 10 minutes or 5 minutes or 15 minutes, whatever it is a steady state or as a conveyor, but then in this duration it will back. And when you know all the parameters which you call as a controllable parameters through a defined process with all the ingredients, with the recipe, standardized process, standardized raw material, standardized equipment, all these things. So you can minimize the variability and everything is well understood, well documented and well followed, executed. Then sustainability can be reached. But that means if you put it like this is the result is going to be, and you can be rest assured. In your personal behavior, sustainability means इस बंदे को काम दिया है तो पक्का है कि शाम तक आ जाएगा. There are people who are, we call them reliable. What is the meaning of reliable people? These are sustainable people, and if they are reliable people part of your team, you feel very happy because you don't need to go and keep on reminding them. बार बार डोर नॉक करने का जरूरत नहीं है. I have given the task, person has understood it. If I have given him 5 o'clock, 5 बजे के पहले ही काम आ जाएगा, and then it gives you peace of mind. Same thing with you. If you are behaving in a more predictable, sustainable, reliable way, then people which are across in CFTs above your level, they will be very much assured about your, not only on the time scale but also on the quality, that the quality of your product will be also, इसके काम को चेक करने की ज़रूरत नहीं पड़ती, होता है ना. There are certain people कि भैया बिना देखे इसको फॉरवर्ड मत कर देना, पता नहीं क्या है. So every time you need to check it. Why it happened? Because there is a history. There is a history got developed like that, you have to always check. And then you say, I cannot rely on this person. So you need to put yourself, because we promote a culture of sustainability. Before you come with any fancy new ideas, let's first learn standardized approach. But this standard approach की एक प्रॉब्लम है. क्या प्रॉब्लम है कि जो कल बना था कुकी वही आज बनेगी, और जो आज बनेगी वही अगले 10 साल तक बनेगी. इन मार्केट में लोगों का टेस्ट तो चेंज हो जाता है. घर में ही माँ का खाना एक जैसा खाते खाते बोर हो जाते हैं. सो यू नीड फॉर चेंज. सो व्हाट इज चेंज? चेंज शुड बी व्हाट? चेंज शुड बी इम्प्रूवमेंट. And that is our next value. We set your target and we promote you, we encourage you to perform beyond your target if possible. And when you improve every day, then we call it as a performance. When you behave in the same way, it is important, it is necessary, but it is not sufficient, because market is shifting, inflation is coming, everyday cost is increasing, even your salaries are increasing every year, customer might not be giving us the compensation, so we need to bring the productivity. होता ना? TE changes, you do a lot in the production, and D&D we call it D&D efficiency, but everything what I was doing yesterday I need to do it in a better way today, and if I don't do it then I will not be able to even compensate for all the inflation. We need to rather do it little bit more, so I am getting ahead of the crowd. Because if everybody is running the same race, and if everybody is improving by 5%, 10%, and we are also improving by 5-10%, we are still part of the crowd. So we need little bit उनसे ahead होने के लिए we need to work little bit more. That is we call it performance. So we promote performance as a part of our culture. Continuous improvement, you might have heard. सुना है? Continuous improvement. सुना क्या किया है बहुत कुछ. So how this improvement comes? So whenever
implement a better things in your life.
Yeah, you implement better, but you try to sustain it. You come and then you kind of stay again flat, and then again you increase it and then come flat, because you want to check if those improvements are giving the results not only one time but multiple time, whatever improvement you do. Because if you make something and it works good and next time it doesn't work, then you fall back, and next time there is a lot of customer complaint, and that happened. ऐसा नहीं कि हमारे साथ नहीं हुआ है. It happened. We make a change for good. We test it under certain environment. Maybe Hari knows it the most, and there's Suhas, and not only these but many of you. We make something for good. With all our assumption, we make it a good, and it really works better than before in our controlled environment. But फिर कुछ ऐसा होता है, either it was a considerations were not taken, our assumptions were wrong, or whatever changes we made, they are not being correctly communicated in our production floor to our suppliers. They did not maintain the quality, or understanding was नहीं थी. So one time it worked well in our test environment, even customer was happy, customer tested, and then as soon as we go to the mass production, problems start popping up. That it means the change was not sustainable. So performance, sustainability. One step forward, again then you take a backward step to stabilize it and then go to the next step. Because if you make a lot of changes in one shot, it becomes very difficult to even tell what was the cause of problem. So we promote sustainability on the environmental basis also. We want to do everything for long term, but also on our standard approaches, standard processes. But at the same time we promote incremental improvement to get the better result day by day. But we need to stabilize them. Now comes the new game, and now we are on the third plank, and this third plank is innovation. Innovation is not an improvement. If somebody is thinking in their mind innovation is an improvement, incremental improvement, it is not. Because innovation is something which maybe I should ask rather than I tell. That table?
Breakthrough.
Breakthrough. Breakthrough means?
Anything new.
Anything new.
Conceptual idea.
conceptual idea, okay,
New idea.
new idea.
Something which fulfills future requirements.
So I did this experiment. Maybe this setup is not the best right now, but I used to do it. Maybe I take this pencil. आपको देंगे मैंने. Maybe I will give it to you. Experiment we are doing. क्या किया है कभी मेरे साथ ये? नहीं किया है. इसको पेंसिल को अंतिम पर्सन तक पहुंचाना है और वापस आना है. Let's measure the time. This is the task. What did I say? You listen it carefully. This pencil should reach to the last person and come back, and I will observe the time. Okay, your time start now.
सुन लिया था सबने? देना सर. पीछे तो पीछे. वापिस दे दो सर.
Okay. It took 19 seconds. इससे बेहतर कर सकते हो?
Yes.
Starts.
ये बीच में रुक जाएगी.
दे दो दे दो दे दो. फेंक दो.
Okay. I will say it took 10 seconds. But maybe understanding was not there. So other group it happens similar way, but they do it improvement. So first time it was 19 seconds, then it becomes 17 seconds, then it becomes 16 seconds, then it becomes, that is all going in a performance direction. And then somebody says like, why are we doing it? What was the idea? It should reach to the last person and come back. So then they throw in it, come back, and it becomes like 3 seconds. In this time it got little bit disturbance and somebody says it's a, so maybe it is a pencil, maybe it is dangerous. So we need to understand, maybe we need to put some cap. But this is the difference. So what did you challenge? You challenged the fundamental. And what was the fundamental? Somebody assumed when they are doing first time that it has to pass through everybody. Was it told by me? No. I did not tell it, you assumed it. So my requirement specification was, this should reach to the last person and come back. This is not the topic of how to improve. This is topic, why are we doing it? Once again asking the question why. And when you ask the question why, then innovation happens. When you say what are we doing it, how are we doing, then performance comes. What are we doing, sustainability comes. Then it is repeated. How are we doing it, how can we do it better, then performance comes. And why are we doing it? That means you go and challenge the original understanding towards your requirement. And when you understand your requirement, then things change. So one funny example is that you go and you see a guy who is sitting on the street side, and you give him one day some fruits and he is happy. Next day you give him another something to eat and the person is happy. So you kind of giving, and you say like, this person is happy whenever I give him something to eat. And then क्यों नहीं मैं इसको काम पे लगा दूं? So you pull that guy out and put it in a job. You offer him a job. And then what happens? This person gets happy, possibility, or the person is not happy anymore. What is your feeling? Will this be, the person will be happy if you give him a job, good salary?
Maybe if he is getting daily free, then why he will do the job? Maybe not.
Yeah, I mean it is not a good habit, but this person will later on come to know that this person was kind of a bevda guy who used to, even whatever you give him, he used to sell it. Even if you give banana, you get money, then it's fine, but banana you just simply sell it and get some money to fulfill his desire through whatever addiction he is suffering from. And if this person is like that, if you bring him, give him a nice job and give him a task, he will suffer, but you will also suffer more. So many times it is on the requirement understanding that why somebody is doing it. Many times you do lot of things for customer. Customer do not define in their requirement, but we assume. So we work on lot of assumptions. And these assumptions when we challenge. So what you are challenging is our assumptions, and that assumptions comes in the category of why. Then you go to the core of the problem, and then you create a new solution, and this new solution is dramatically different. Somebody said it here, breakthrough, out of box. And these out of box or breakthrough solutions are coming because you are challenging the fundamentals, and that we promote as an innovation culture because we encourage. But one thing which should be very carefully understood, you cannot do innovation in the running line or in the production environment. Innovation is always coming with a risk. It may work, it may not work. There is a risk with the change management, but that is incremental change, so risk is also minimum. In the breakthrough innovations, out of box thinking, risk is much higher, much higher risk. Therefore, you want to experiment and you want to isolate, experiment in a controlled environment to test it out, and when it works then you roll it out. So innovations should not be discussed at a big company level. It should be done in a very smaller circle. There is also risk that the word goes out and competitors catch it. So any innovative thought, if it comes, it should be discussed in a smaller circle. It should be tried out in a very controlled environment without touching any of the running production and running system. We should not do that. And when you do that, whether it is a new product, a new process idea, new machine idea, I highly encourage everybody here to do it, but again in a very controlled environment to avoid any of the risks to the business. Clear? Innovation, but this is important. And by innovation, we can always take a leapfrog in our business accomplishment. Now we come to the last two values, and those two values are literally very abstract in the nature, so sometimes even difficult to comprehend and explain and express. So first of that I will use integrity, and then we will talk about just a thought experiment. We will do a thought experiment. I would request also to turn off this light, maybe this light we can turn off, and everybody just close your eyes, close your eyes. What we are trying to do is, we are understanding the word integration. We are integrity, and integrity is the word which relates with the trustworthiness. We trust somebody, so think of a person in your life, who do you trust the most? This person could be your friend, could be a family member, could be your boss, could be subordinate, could be teacher, anybody who has established trust with you. When this person name is and his picture is clear, you can open your eyes. Okay? This is the most trustworthy person in your life. You can turn on your lights now. So this is the most trustworthy person in your life. When you have this image, I think you already feel little relaxed, little happy, little comfortable, little warm. Warm means not warm in the temperature, but warm feeling. Now I will not ask you the name of this person. This is very private, but I will ask one characteristic, and we will go in a rapid fire round. I will start from here. Everybody has to say one quality of the person which makes you trust this person the most. अगर आपके पास कहने के लिए कुछ नहीं है क्वालिटी, या आपकी वही क्वालिटी जो पिछले वाले ने बता दिया, तो you can say pass. Okay? One quality of the person why you trust most.
Ability to accept.
Acceptance.
Self-respect.
Self-respect.
Guide for better improvement.
Guide for improvement.
Quality work.
Quality work.
Hiding secrets. Hiding secrets.
Hiding secrets.
Discipline.
Discipline.
I can share everything with her.
Confidence of sharing.
Livingness.
Loving.
Most cheerful.
Cheerful.
Friendliness.
Friendliness. Pass. Pass.
Guidance and support.
Guidance.
Support.
Support. Okay.
Sharing ideas.
Sharing ideas is same.
Joy.
Joy. Honesty. Believe. They believe in you. Okay.
Mutual understanding.
Mutual understanding.
Taking responsibility.
Okay. Taking responsibility. Pass.
Taking care.
Taking care. Caring.
Very high confidence.
High level of confidence.
Never thinks bad about me. It's always, good for me. Always think best of
Always good for you.
Beliefs and dependence.
Beliefs. You want to say one word?
Unconditional.
Unconditional love.
Yeah, honest.
Honesty.
Loyal.
Loyalty.
No, I was not doing this.
You are not doing it. Okay. But you saw so many words. No? Some of them are little overlapping. Maybe interchangeably you can use the vocabulary. But do you disagree with somebody else? You picked only one quality. But do you say, oh, this is not fitting into my person which was in my mind? Honesty, loyalty, friendliness, openness, believing. So many things came. Does it fit to that person or not? Other things which other people say. Huh? Does it fit? Is there anybody who says this was not fitting to the person who was in my mind? Almost all the fitting. Now you think this person is not only what you can articulate, you were able to articulate one quality at the topmost. But when we took a collective wisdom, there are so many qualities popped up. Maybe that was high priority in others' mind, that's why they said it. Or maybe they got chance later, so their turn came by the time other things already gone, so they picked something. But these are so many qualities. It looks like a sarvagun sampanna. This person has to have somebody. But if you present this person as a prime ministerial candidate, they will not win. Most likely they will not win the election. But looks like you need so many things from this person, and still this is a common person. This person which came in your mind, which you trust the most, this person was not somebody whose articles are published every day. This is not the person whose picture is appearing in the paper or interviews are coming on the TV. No, this is a normal person. This person is around you. This person is very much familiar to you. This person is around you. Maybe in some cases they are not meeting you every day. Maybe sometimes they are not meeting you every year even. They are staying somewhere far away. They are somewhere staying in your home, maybe staying outside your home. You are meeting once in a day, once in a week, once in a month, once in a year. But still this person is very important for you, and more precisely this person is the most trustworthy person for you. Because this person has done so many things in your life. Because this person has built up a high level of deposit of not fixed deposit, but deposit of good deeds in your balance account. And this person has never shown against your idea about that person. So you have created an idea about this person, but this person did not do anything so far which is against that idea. What idea? Idea of that person. This person might be against your idea. Maybe let's differentiate it. This person might have confronted with the disagreement with you many times. This person might be so honest that if you say I want to do it, they say no, you are not going to do it. And if you do it, it's not going to work for you. They might be very deadly honest. They might be caring sometimes. If you are trying still after their advice not to do it and still you are climbing, and if you are falling they will come and catch you even though you are working against their advice. So that means there is a lot of credibility got established over a period of time. This is all about that person. Now we need to reverse the role. What we are talking about you. So now you need to ask yourself, What do I do so that my name and my picture appear in their mind? Hopefully you might be already doing some of the good things, but not to that level. If I go back and ask this person, I will not go. But if you go and ask, are you the most trustworthy person for them? Maybe it is yes, maybe it is no. That means there is a room for improvement. And now what you need to do, I cannot tell you. But you need to ask yourself a question. What do I need to do so that I become most trustworthy person in their mind? And when you say not only in one person's mind, but in many others people's mind. If there is a single name which can win the country cricket match as a captain, then not many names are coming. Right? There is a very few name comes. But it is not the person you will go and make them Prime Minister of country. If you need to send them for representing India in a game, different than a bureaucratic setup or in an international diplomatic dialogue. This could be a different person. So that means there are different roles, and accordingly there are different people who come in your mind. But in that area of responsibility, you need to ask who is the best. And you could be best in some area for sure. But the first thing is we need to be trustworthy. And I am going from 6 to 7. A trustworthy person is an example. Not necessarily this person has all the qualities, but the area of responsibility. So in a cricket game, I will bring back because it is close to all of us. In a cricket game, maybe I ask this time our CMT table, who is an exemplary player for cricket? Sachin Tendulkar, Virat Kohli, Dhoni. Any other name? Virendra Sehwag. Exemplary. Rahul Dravid. Kapil Dev. Okay, there's people like me, somebody who saw Kapil Dev playing. Okay. But these are different names. And I would say none of them is not an example. They are example of their own class. They are coming from different class. But one thing is very common in them. And what is common? That they reach to the top of their profession. They reach to the top of their profession. That is not enough. Reaching to the top of the profession and behaving like a jerk is not an example. So they reach to the top of their profession, but still they have a humility and humbleness to continuously improve from that point. They are the best in their area of expertise, but still they have a humility and humbleness to improve from that level. They will all, Tendulkar even after retirement also used to still see his own video, how could I have improved my game though he got retired. And Dhoni also listens to everybody, and Kapil Dev's interviews will tell you how he wanted to improve himself. But you reach to the top of your profession and still you have desire for further improvement. That shows your humbleness, humility, politeness. But at the same time, if somebody asks them, how can I improve, they will completely come and try to support. So there are a lot of people who got benefited from their expertise, but they don't talk too much. They do not go and publicize, मैंने उसको भी सिखाया, उसको भी सिखाया, उसको भी सिखाया, और वो मेरी वजह से ऐसा कर रहा है. The day on which they say, their being an example index goes down. Anybody जो बड़ोला बन के बताता है अपनी खुद की ऑटोबायोग्राफी खोल के बैठ जाता है, मैंने उसको भी ये सिखाया, मैंने उसको भी वो दिया, मैंने उसको ये बनाया. Those people are not respected much. So the respect come because they are on the top of their profession. They have a ability and desire to learn and improve further, but at the same time they are very supportive if anybody wants to take their help and support for improvement. Now you put it back on yourself. You, if you want to become an example, you will not become Tendulkar, and you will also not become Dhoni, and you will also not become Sehwag, but what you can become in your own area of responsibility, the most knowledgeable person. And still you can have a hunger and thirst to learn more and improve from that level. But at the same time, journey doesn't stop. Your exemplary journey is that where you are continuously helping and others to improve. And there are so many people getting benefit out of your expertise. And when you reach that, then that is the last value we call. You have become an example, and people call it, you have become a living legend in your area of expertise. And everybody look at you with the respect, and that respect doesn't come on your head, and then you don't become मैं तो सब कुछ हूँ. No, you still remain humble and polite. And when we have that, then we are guaranteeing for green, and green is our customer satisfaction. So using all these values which we discussed, all the 7 values, considering human approach and professionalism, we reach all together to green, which is our customer satisfaction, delivering business growth, business prosperity and business success. That's all about this first session. Any questions so far?
I think that all these can be implemented in personal life as well. So all customer satisfaction.
We are not copywriting it, we allow you to do that. Yes, yes. And I think when you think a little deeper, they are across the culture, across the countries, across the organization. That's why it was a HELA value. But if the HELA becomes FORVIA, I would not change any of them. I would still say they are still valid. All are valid. On the top, if some addition comes here and there, but there is not a single one which I would like to remove and say that, but this doesn't make sense anyway, because now we are part of a, not a German company, but a French, European conglomerate. I would not say that. So agree with you. Full agreement.
So that was my question which I written in the initially, that now as the HELA become FORVIA, because it was taken over, then if it will be still remain there, it will be there.
It is rare. Even before you would have joined HELA, and if you would have think through this one, you would have not done the things differently.
Yeah.
Certainly how people present and how people make the bridge and how people talk about it, but the core will remain same. Because customer satisfaction is something where you want to reach. If somebody makes a parallel bridge with the different naming convention, we can accept it for sure, but our behavior should not change. Because the integrity, being an example, have an innovation, sustainability, performance, cooperation and entrepreneurship. What you want to drop? Is there something which you want to drop? Nothing. Then we finish this part.